Let me guess, when you try to speak English, you don't sound like a native. Your English sounds weird. People can easily tell where you're from just based off of your English speaking and your pronunciation. I know people shouldn't do this, but people judge you all the time based off of your pronunciation. If your pronunciation is bad, even if you know a lot of grammar rules, even if you have a lot of vocabulary, people will still assume that your English is bad just because of your pronunciation. So you really need to improve it and get better at it so that people think and believe that your English is great, because it will be after you improve your pronunciation. I know this is true because this is how I got treated as well. Whenever I would talk to people from like a different country, they could easily tell, and they would say to me, Asim, are you from Pakistan? Because this is how you're saying and pronouncing words in English. Because instead of saying like comfortable, I would say comfortable. Instead of saying important, I would say important. So like I had these pronunciation quirks, and after I worked on them, people stopped like guessing my country, and people stopped recognizing where I was from. And when you accomplish this, when people can tell based off your accent and your pronunciation where you're from, it means you're probably close to native level English speaking. So here are some ways and some tips, some action steps that you can follow to really improve your pronunciation and get it to the next level. First, change your inputs. You are what you consume, period. If you consume something in the Indian pronunciation of English, you will sound like an Indian. That's why people who watch a lot of like these Bollywood actors, and they watch their interviews speak in English, and they end up sounding like them, because you are what you consume. So change your inputs. Listen to British speakers, listen to Americans or Australians or any other native speakers. When you do that, when you consume their content, you will be close to their pronunciation level, because you will subconsciously copy how they speak. So this is the first thing. Second thing to do is to do deliberate listening. So what most people do is they passively listen. So they like watch a YouTube video while they are, eating, or they listen to a podcast while they're on a bus. You can't multitask if you really want to improve your pronunciation. Doing listening like that is, helpful because you're still listening to English. But if you really want to, get that extra benefit of improving your pronunciation as well at the same time, you need to do deliberate listening. What that means is do active listening. Do active listening with 100% focus. When you're watching something, 100% focus on it. Don't let your mind wander around, thinking about something else. So when you're focused on what you're listening or what you're watching, you will, notice pronunciation differences. You will say and think, oh, so this is how the natives say this word. Oh, so instead of saying comfortable, I should say comfortable, because this is how the natives are saying it. You will start to notice these changes and these differences between your pronunciation and the pronunciation of the native speaker you're listening to. And by noticing these differences, you will really start to adopt their pronunciation, and that's how you will get better as well. This is, for the listening part of your pronunciation. This is what you consume to improve your pronunciation. Now let's move on to some practical exercises that you can do to really, get to the next level in terms of your pronunciation. The first one is the pause and repeat method. This is like a developed form of shadowing which I discovered for myself. So I was watching these videos about pronunciation and accent, and I really wanted to improve mine when I was a beginner. And one of the techniques they recommended was shadowing. They say do a lot of shadowing to improve your pronunciation and also your accent in English. Shadowing is helpful. I tried it, but honestly, I found it a bit, like noisy, because you're listening and speaking at the same time, and it was really confusing for me because I was a beginner. I couldn't do that properly. So with shadowing, you're, like listening and speaking what you're listening at the same time, which was too difficult for me. Even with subtitles, I couldn't do it properly. So, I developed like a technique for myself, which I like to call the pause and repeat method. What you do is you listen to someone or something like a YouTube video. You can do it with my YouTube videos, by the way, as well. But I recommend doing it with like a native speaker. So you listen to something for 5 seconds or 3 seconds, just like one sentence, and then you pause the video, and then you repeat what you just heard, and then you continue doing this for like 5-10 minutes. If you do it daily, I guarantee your speaking will improve, because this is exactly how I improved my pronunciation and got it to this level. And the second, practical exercise you can do is reading out loud. So it's very simple. Just pick up a book and start reading it out loud. Focus on pronouncing every single word fully. Exercise your mouth. Like, if you really need help with this, you can like put a pen between your teeth and then read out loud. It will really like stretch the muscles in your mouth to really pronounce the words in English. The thing a lot of English learners struggle with is that they really don't know whether they're improving or not. So like with the gym and with weightlifting, it's easy because you're like seeing your muscles building, you're slowly, noticing the changes in your body. But with English, it's difficult. It's really hard to like keep going when you don't notice the improvements you're making, especially in your pronunciation. For that, what I would suggest you to do is every day record yourself speaking for 5 minutes. Just speak for 5 minutes about any topic. You don't have to show it to anyone, just record yourself and have the recording with you. So later down the line, maybe 2-3 months later, you can check and see whether you've improved or not. So do it every day for like 5 minutes. 3 minutes is also fine, but do it every single day. And 2-3 months later, you can like really look back and see if you've improved or not, or if there are any changes in your pronunciation or not. So I would highly suggest you to do that. This lesson was all about learning and improving your pronunciation. I've also made a lesson about learning vocabulary. If you haven't checked that out, watch it right here. You will learn like my step-by-step process of how I learn and remember vocabulary in English. Okay, I hope this lesson was helpful. See you in the next one.